My name's Alan Steinfeld, and I host a show called New Realities in New York, and a website called New Realities, and I look for people who I think are really bringing in something new. I mean, everyone's bringing in something now, but I'm sort of a talent scout. I look for people that I resonate with, that I feel have a kind of different message, an uplifting message. Everybody's doing that, but then there's people that you resonate with. So I met Paul, and I felt something. I mean, I talked to a lot of people, but I really felt like there was some vibration in my body that was happening in these channeling sessions. So that's why I said, let's do a special evening at the Meta Center. And we're also doing a weekend in the Poconos on Memorial Day. So if you like what you experience here, we're going to do a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up in the mountains, which at a beautiful retreat place. So I have some flyers about that. I'll put them out there. And let me know if that sounds interesting for you. And I don't know, how many people haven't seen Paul? Oh, okay, great. So I guess you'll have to introduce yourself. He's just a regular guy, which I like about him. Here, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks, Alan. Thank you all for coming. I've only worked with a mic once, and that was actually last Friday night. I was invited to channel at a place called the Heart and Soul Center of Light in Oakland, which was wild. And they had me on the dais with a mic and a congregation. And I just thought if anybody told me 2 years ago that I'd be channeling in Oakland with people saying hallelujah in the audience, I would have told them they were crazy. But this is just what's happening now. So I'm grateful to be back, and I'm grateful to be here. And how many of you are new to this work, or how many of you have never? Okay, just honestly, if I haven't met you before, just raise your hand, and that's great. And has anybody here read the book, I Am the Word? Okay, terrific. So there's some of you. I usually do a little introduction about how I work and who I am before I start. And my guides tell me that my job is to show up and sit in the chair, and I always say if for some reason I can't hear, I have to buy everybody pizza. So be prepared for the possibility, but hopefully that won't happen. I was raised in Manhattan, mostly Manhattan, and I was raised pretty much an atheist on the Upper West Side. I was sort of raised to believe that people who believed in this stuff were probably happily deluded and maybe not very smart. And that was a comfortable way to live one's life up to a point until I really hit a wall and I began looking myself. I had a list of things I had to have achieved by the age of 25 that I thought would make me okay in the world. I got the whole list. I was not okay by any stretch of the imagination, and cleaned up my act a little bit. And I told the story. Why not? I told this in California. I might as well tell it here. I figured it was safe in California because I'd never see those people again. I was sort of bottoming out in the Gopher Campus Motor Lodge in St. Paul, where I was working on an opera. An opera, and there's a giant gopher spinning on a spindle outside my window, and I went, this is just too much. Anyway, 2 months later, I went up to my roof on the night of this event called the Harmonic Convergence, and somebody said that there were going to be people waking up. And I didn't know what that meant, but I wanted to be woken up. And I went up to my roof, and I asked to be woken up, and I had a crystal in one hand. Somebody had given me a mantra to work with. I thought you needed both of those things. But I went up to the roof, and I had an experience that people later said sounded like a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. I don't know what it was. A few years ago, somebody said, no, it really sounds like something we call a soul awakening. And I actually like that term better. All I know is that I began seeing lights around people pretty shortly thereafter, and they were little lights like fireflies, and they were very pretty. And I began studying energy healing as a way to get a context of what I was beginning to experience. And I found out that when I had my hands on people, sometimes I could hear things. I'd have my hand on your shoulder, I'd hear Mark, I'd say, who's Mark? And they'd say, my brother, my husband, my dog, my, whatever, my doctor. And And then I would learn to sort of trust that little voice a little bit more. And I began to feel in my body what people were showing up for around the same time. And what was happening really was that I was developing empathically, and I didn't know it. I have a whole other life. I'm a college teacher. I've been doing this for many years. I only sort of got dragged out of the closet fairly recently as a channel. I've been doing groups on my own for about 15 years in the city, and I've been having a practice as a psychic for a while that was fairly covert. But about 2 years ago, it was actually 2 years ago, I was let go of a theater project that I was writing, and I went to bed, and Victoria Nelson, who's a colleague of mine in academia, called me up and she said, well, maybe it's time for you to write your memoir about how you became clairaudient. And I didn't really want to do that. And my guides piped in and said, no, we have a book to write, and we'll do it in 2 weeks if you will show up. And that's pretty much what happened. And that was the book, I Am the Word, which is really a direct transcript of 2.5 weeks worth of channeling sessions. I didn't add anything to it. The only things that were cut from that manuscript were things that were really personal to me or Victoria, or if, the UPS man buzzed my buzzer in the middle of the session and I cursed, because that wasn't necessary. But beyond that, it was pretty much just what came through. So I'm getting a little more out there with the work right now. I don't know how I do what I do. I don't think I'm that special at all. I think that this is just something that happens, and I think if it's happening for me, it's happening for everybody, and according to my guides, it is. This is sort of the time. So I don't know what you're going to get tonight. I don't plan this at all. I know we've got a couple of hours plus together. So we'll see what they want to do. I hear we will teach. So I suppose you're going to get a teaching. So
Can I just interrupt? Did anyone lose a BlackBerry? Leave one out in the lobby? No? Okay, BlackBerry.
Which is a good moment to just say turn your BlackBerries off, or your iPhones off, or whatever you have off. I'm going to try working with the mic, with the channel. It's all right. I think I'm going to move you one seat over, Jan, so I don't have to. So they just keep saying we teach. For those of you who haven't seen me work before, Alan, had me on his show New Realities in the winter, and happily posted a bunch of 3-minute clips of me channeling that had no context for how I channel. So if you ever watch any of those 3-minute clips, you see a very large man rocking back and forth and talking to himself. And the feedback was quite something, I have to say. From, people who got to watch the whole interview actually heard me explain how it is that I operate. And it's not the most graceful way. And actually, because Alan, you're behind me, I'm going to get back over. Okay. It's okay. I just want to be able to turn and see people when it's time. When I hear, I tend to whisper the words to myself and then repeat them. So you'll hear things twice. More and more recently, they're starting to work directly. But that's usually just like in a sentence, and then I go back to the way that I've been doing this for a while. So I don't know how it'll come tonight. And I always say that if for some reason I'm not hearing clearly, I will say something and let you know. I'm not going to try to pull it down if it ain't happening. I work with a language that my guides offer. It's somewhat rooted in the Judeo-Christian tradition. I used to try to change it and make it more neutral so somebody would feel comfortable. I realized that was my trying to control everything, and I don't do that anymore. So my guides use the word Christ, and they're really talking, I think, well, they'll explain it if they want to, I suppose, but that aspect within the self that is the creator that can be realized in form. That's sort of one of the ways they talk about it. Anything else? I get a no. So I just ask if we can, I'm going to ask that we work with the prayer protection tonight. I just like to do that. So people just sit back and close their eyes. Yes, if you would. And I just ask, do I need to get everybody's names right now? And they're saying no, not now, but maybe in a bit. So if you would just repeat after me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the Spirit of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So be it. And silently set the intention that you're only open and receptive to those energies and information which are for your highest good and the perfect amounts needed for your healing and evolution at this time. And they're just affirming word, I am, word. Okay, now hold on, let me see what I have to do now. Stop now, Paul and Sid. They're just saying, stop now, Paul and Sid, we want to teach them. And they're saying we want to teach them about what they are, what they need to know to transition themselves, to transition themselves through these times of escalation. And we say escalation because it's a shift in frequency, because it's a shift in frequency that's now made available, that's now being made available to each and everyone here, on this plane, and the trials that come. And the trials that come to this time are about fear and frequency, and what it means to be in frequency. And what it means to be in frequency is to know who you are, in vibration. So that's what we sing. So the tune we sing to each of you tonight is know who you are, know what you are, know how you serve, know what you stand for, so that you can stand amidst the changes that are coming to you. Now each night we teach. We have to teach differently because Paul's system is acclimating in frequency as we continue to work through him. And tonight he's in transition. And tonight he's in transition in ways he does not see. He believes himself still to be sitting here teaching you in our way as he has done in times past. But in fact, the energies that are working through him have manifested, and are being held now in embodiment. And this is new, and you will see it, each of you in your way, as you call to you, your knowing of what you are. Now you say these words with us after we say them the first time. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. I know who I am. I know who I am.
I know who I am.
I know what I am.
I know what I am.
I know how I serve.
I know how I serve.
This is the decree of this time of manifestation when you hold frequency. And when you hold frequency in your field, you are embodying, but it is a process of anchoring energy in, and you cannot do this without your claim to it. Everybody here who holds frequency in their own vibration, has an awareness of what it means to be entitled to your Christ itself, without the knowing of what it means to be in frequency. To be in frequency, you're off. You are off. You do not get it, and you wait for your field to instruct you. Now your field, we say, your frequency is in dominion. You claim it, you operate through it, and you are expressed. As frequency, regardless of what you think, and the choice you make tonight. And the choice you make tonight, each one of you to say yes, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. We'll gift you with the creation you need, to accelerate and hold the manifestation of the word. Now we will speak about the word for those of you who are new to this teaching. The word is the frequency. The word is the frequency of the manifestation of God in man. Period.
period. It's the essence of the Christ. It is the essence of the Christ in vibration that is held within each soul, that can be accelerated, and expressed in matter. In matter means in form. In matter means in form. Now we decide tonight with you that your teaching is about embodiment, and what it means to stand in your knowing, as a being who can lay this claim for the true self. I am word. Now the teaching we give you, each of you is to accelerate your vibration, to bring it into alignment with higher knowing, so you may know who you are, what you are, and how you serve. And we say serve with an intention. When you are in this frequency, I am word, you are called to service. You can no longer stand and be passive to the changes happening. Because you are part of the change. And the change we say is Christ come in man. Now understand this, please. There is no dogma to this. There is no religion to this. The essence of each of you, in fact, is an aspect of the Creator, coming into embodiment, in transition during this time. We teach through this system and through other systems of other mediums to give the reckoning to each of you that you have the birthright to be this thing that we say in fact you are, and you're forgetting of this. I know who I am, I know what I am, I know how I serve. Is the reckoning we offer you when you decide tonight that who you have been and who you are is an aspect of the Christ in manifestation. You begin to call to you in your experience the circumstances you require to accelerate further and know this to be true. Now we do not lie to you. We have no patience with lies. And we tell Paul all the time, there is no allowance for it. A small lie, regardless of what you think, is born in fear. Every lie you have ever told has been born in fear. And that which is created in fear brings more fear. And you know this to be true. It cannot be otherwise. So our teaching is in truth, but how you interpret and respond to our teaching will be filtered through a lifetime of teachings that have told you such a thing cannot be. I am not allowed. There is no such thing, and I am not a Christian, and I am not a Christian. Well, guess what? We are not either. We do the work in the manifestation of Christ, because Christ is the truth of God in man. It is not a religion. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of consciousness and frequency that may be expressed by you in your work, in your knowing, and in your dominion, and in your dominion. And we say dominion. And we say dominion because as you know your truth, you say yes, 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 yes. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. Now the song we sing to you tonight. Now the song we sing to you tonight, I am word is a chorus. A chorus we say is sung by many voices. And as the voices come, and join the song, the acceleration of frequency. The acceleration of frequency is enormous, and calls to it other voices to sing along. Now our song we say is written in light, and the words we say, I know who I am, I know who I am, I know what I am, I know what I am, I know how I serve, will be sung by you in a claim of truth, as you say yes, I know who I am, I know who I am, what I am, how I serve, and I live this. We wait on something. We want you to know something, the way you've lived your life. The way you have lived your lives until this night have been okay. We are not discounting your experience. We are not discounting your experience or your truth or your decisions. What we are telling you. But what we are telling you is the time has come. The time has come to awaken to the self, in manifestation. What does that mean? What does that mean? You want to know what it means. You want to know what it means, and we will teach you. And we will teach you when you know who you are. When you know who you are, and you stand in that knowing, in vibration, you are shifting others. You are shifting others, and you are the presence. And you are the presence of the manifestation of Christ, as it can be expressed, in form on this plane. Now, this is a big deal. It has not happened. It has not happened, but for several times in the history of this plane. But it has been done. And now it is being done. And now it is being done with everybody. Know what this means. The days of denying the self. The days of denying the self and the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are as a being created in the image and likeness of God. Are over. You cannot hold it anymore. The denial of this has kept you in limitation, in fear, and in judgment, of yourselves, and your fellows, and your fellows. And we say judgment, because it is based in separation. You know this, and you know this. You believe yourself still. You believe yourself still to be separate from the one beside you, and you be separate, and to be separate from the Creator that you call, You believe yourself to be different than the one beside you, are unworthy of the Creator you call God, and you do these things. And you do these things because you were taught this, You were taught this, and you bought it. Now guess what? The times are changed. We call to you a reckoning, and a reckoning is a witnessing, and a reckoning is a witnessing of mankind, and its creations, and what you have created, and what you have created in fear, and in separation, is being contended with now, and we say now, because this is the time of it, Now the gift of this time. Now, the gift of this time, we will say, is the awareness of it, as change, as change. Change. When you think of change. When you think of change as frightening, you invest in fear. You invest in fear, and you contribute to the matrix of fear. And you contribute to the matrix of fear that has encircled the planet, etherically since the beginning of its time here. Restructuring. The restructuring, correct, of this framework on an etheric level is what is happening now. The dismantling of fear. The dismantling of fear and the matrix of fear. And the matrix of fear has begun, and the resistance to this. And the resistance to this is playing itself out in ways that will be visible to you. But if you understand that the job of fear is to create more fear, you will not listen, you will not accept, and you will know the truth, and you will know the truth. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve will shield you, respond to all circumstances, will offer you, and will offer you the ability to claim, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know who I serve. I know how I serve in a way that will serve others, Now, the importance of service at the time. Now, the importance of service at this time, we will say, is accepting your role and your contribution as who you are. The belief that you have to be something else to be in manifestation. To be in manifestation in dominion is a creation of lack. And if you know tonight that you are here in frequency to call forth, I am word in all circumstances, in all contributions, you will be of service to many. Now, Paul wants us to explain what this means, and we will do so for him. He sits in the back row and raises his hand and say, did you say? And says, did you say? Well, we will say it. We say it. Well, we will say it when we say it, but we will say this. What you think you are is based in programming. That you have inherited culturally, and the breakout of self-identification with the creative self that would allow itself to be born, again within you is what is happening tonight. Now say this with us if you would. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. It is significant. We'll explain why. And we will explain why. I know who I am. I know who I am states the identity that you are acclimating to in frequency. I am word. I know what I am. I know what I am is a statement of truth, of identification with what you are, which is an aspect of the Creator, which is an aspect of the Creator embodied, correct, or indeed, informed, and the last one. And the last one, I know how I serve. I know how I serve is the gift you give by embodying when you are embodied. When you are embodied in ascension, as it were, you are a frequency. You are a frequency that is impactful and radiates and transitions that which you encounter, because you cannot help it. Now guess what, everybody? You know your frequency. You read the books. I can create with my thinking. I can create with my thinking. You understand this up to a point. You understand this up to a point. But you look at Paul's hand. But if you look at Paul's hand, he is waving a dial. He is waving a dial in the air, and what he is doing. And what he is doing as attuning a frequency is attuning a frequency. In fact, everybody here. In fact, everybody here is in escalation already. The energy began. The energy began right when we said we would start. Right when we said we would start, which was 5 minutes before you did. Which was 5 minutes before you did. We start on time. We start on time regardless of what Paul does. Regardless of what Paul does. Now we say this to you. Now we say this to you. The frequency is being accelerated. The frequency is being accelerated by intention. By intention. Our job with you. Our job with you is to shift you to an acclamation. To an acclamation, a vibration that you can have your own experience with, that you can have your own experience with. It means nothing. It means nothing for us to say these words to you, for us to say these words to you if you do not believe it. If you do not believe it or have your own experience of it, or have your own experience of it, the experience of it, we say. The experience of it, we say, is the gift we give you, is the gift we give you. And we do not do this to show off. And we do not do this to show off. We do this so you know it. We do this so that you know it, so that you can go home and vibrate with your child, and vibrate with your child, and tomorrow with your boss, and tomorrow with your boss, or your spouse, or your poodle, It is up to you. It is up to you, but the choice to be in frequency. But the choice to be in frequency is a choice, and it is always a choice, and it is always a choice. Choice. Notice what this means. Now understand what this means when you are frightened. When you are frightened, you are operating in fear. You are operating in fear, and you are a radio. And you are a radio, and you are broadcast. And your broadcast is a fearful one. When you are enlightened. When you are enlightened, correct, and that is your broadcast. You are broadcasting high frequency. You are broadcasting high frequency, and that is what you emit. And that is what you emit, the dial that you see. The dial that you see can do several things. It can change the channel. It can change the channel on the radio you are. It can raise the frequency. Or it can raise the frequency through intention. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, what we are showing you? What we are showing you is that you choose. You have always been choosing. But you've been choosing in denial. But you have been choosing in denial of your ability to change. It's as if somebody told you. It's as if somebody told you you were prey to your feelings. And you had no choice. When something happened to you, except to accept it and respond as you were told to. Now that's a lie. That claims dominion over you. And the truth of the time is, there is nothing to claim dominion. There is nothing to claim dominion over you. You are the choice. You are the choice. You are the chooser. You are the chooser. You are the one who calls to you. You are the one who calls to you the manifestation of God. The manifestation that God has entitled you. To. And if you do not, great. And if you do not like what you create, you can create anew. Now would you stand as a group? We want to teach you something. We want to teach you something, and this is for you to know. Now we ask those of you who are uncomfortable with this teaching, who think it's crap, who would rather be bowling, to go bowl, and we will not take your money. And the reason we say this to you, is you're going to make a choice now. You are going to make a choice now to claim yourself in frequency. And the choice is a significant one. And the choice is a significant one. If you do not want it, we do not want it for you. We do not want it for you. We do not want to take the responsibility. We do not want you to take the responsibility of something that feels too hard, or feels false, or feels false, or feels like frightening, or feels like a frightening thing. So if there is anyone now who wishes to say goodnight, we will see you some other time. And we will not be insulted. We are far beyond that. So say goodnight if you wish. So say goodnight if you wish, or stay and get ready for the rocks. And get ready for the rocks to roll off your back. To roll off your back, because that is what we intend to happen tonight. Because that is what we intend to happen tonight, the rocks to roll off your back. The rocks to roll off your back. What is a rock? What is a rock? Something you have carried. Something that you have carried that is not yours. That is not yours. And is not yours means. And is not yours means it is not of your essence. It is not of your essence. It is yours. It is yours to the extent that you carry it. That you carry it and you believe it to be you. And you believe it to be you. But guess what, everybody? It is not you. It is not you. It was never you. It was never you, and it cannot be you. And it cannot be you, the belief that you hold. The belief that you hold in your own limitation, must be released. Must be released in order for this work to progress. In order for this work to progress. So say these words with us now. So say these words with us now after Paul speaks them the first time. After Paul speaks them the first time. I am word through my body. I am word through my body.
I am word through my body.
Word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
I am word through my vibration.
I am word through my vibration.
Word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
I am word through my knowing of myself.
I am word through the knowing of myself.
As word.
As word.
Word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
And they're saying they're going to bring the hero. This is just Paul, and through the heart and the third eye. The hero is the Christ energy. So let it come. They're saying, let it come, let it come, let it come. Open to receive. And they're also saying, open to receive. Nothing to be done. There's nothing to be done but to allow this. Let it come, let it come, let it come. Let it come, let it come, let it come. We're going to shift the room now. We are going to shift the room now. I know who I am. I know who I am. Say this, please. Say this, please.
I know who I am.
I know what I am.
I know what I am.
I know how I serve.
I know how I serve.
They're saying now quickening. What this means is we're going to shift their energy. We are going to shift the energy in each one of you, as we can. Our decision with this room is to know you as frequency, in order for this to happen. You each should decide right now. You each need to decide right now that you deserve this. And deserve means I can hold this. I can accept this. And I am worthy of this. And I am worthy of this. When we say to you, I know who I am. I know who I am. We say we know who you are. We say we know who you are. We know who you have been. We know who you have been. We know what you need. We know what you need, and we know what you can have. And we know what you can have. We know these things for you. We know these things for you because we are in essence. Because we are in essence. You are in essence as well. You are in essence as well, but are beginning to experience the self. But are beginning to experience the self as such. When you claim I am word through my body. When you claim I am word through my body, you are decreeing. You are decreeing that the physical form you stand in can hold the higher frequency and maintain it when you claim I am word through my vibration. I am word through my vibration. You state the claim. You state the claim that your essence, your auric field, your vibration stands in accordance with the higher frequency, I am word. I am word through my knowing of myself as word. I am word through my knowing of myself as word. It's a decision. Now understand, please. Each and every one of you, that the self-identification of I know who I am, I know who I am, I know what I am, I know what I am, I know how I serve, has significance because what you are saying is I know who I am. I know who I am as an aspect of the Creator. As an aspect of the Creator, I know what I am. I know what I am as an aspect of the Creator. As an aspect of the Creator, I know how I serve. I know how I serve in dominion. So when you say, I am word through my knowing of myself, I am word through my knowing of myself as word. What you are saying is, this is who I am now. This is who I am now. This is what I know to be true. Now we want to tell you one thing. Now we want to tell you one thing. This is not abracadabra. This is not abracadabra. We do not teach you things. We do not teach you things that you cannot demonstrate. That you cannot demonstrate. So say these words with us again. So say these words with us again. I am word through my body. I am word through my body. Word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
I am word through my vibration.
I am word through my vibration.
Word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
I am word through my knowing of myself
I am word through my knowing of myself.
as word.
As word.
They're saying now, Paul, would you stand? So I don't know what they're going to do. Take the mic if you want. Thanks. They're saying we would do this with you. Say these words, Paul. And they're saying, say these words, Paul. I am word through each one present. I am word through each one present. Word,
I am word through each one present.
word, I am word.
Word, I am word.
And they're saying everybody be quiet now. Paul is going to work on the room. They're saying Paul is going to work on the room in his frequency. In his frequency, I am word through each one present. I am word through each one present. I am word through all that I know to be true. I am word through all that I know to be true. I am word through each one I see before me. I am word through each one I see before me. I am word through the manifestation of God in man. I am word through the manifestation of God in man. I see before me. I see before me and witness before me. And witness before me the perfection that has been created in each being here. In each being here. And as I say this, I know this to be true. I know this to be true. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. Each one receive God through the body. He's saying each one receive God through the body they stand in. Let it come, let it come, let it come. Let it come, let it come, let it come. Feel this, please. And he's saying, feel this, please. Set the chakra down. It's going to be coming in through the seventh chakra down. Say yes, Paul, if you wish. And they just said I could say this if you wish. You just may be starting to feel a pressure at the top of your head as this comes. This is just the frequency doing its work. I know myself as word. And they're saying, I know myself as word. Believe yourselves to be here. Believe yourselves to be here, to be known, to be known, to be known to the self that you are in truth, to be known to the self that you are in truth, because this will come, and it will teach you, and it will teach you. We serve you tonight. We serve you tonight, but the beings that we are, serve those we serve. Serve those we serve as they ask to be worked with, And when you ask for our help, and when you ask for our help, we say yes. We say yes because we know who you are. Because we know who you are, we know what you are. We know what you are, we know how you serve. We know how you serve, and we know you are word. And we know you are word. You may sit now. You may sit now. Thank you. Thank you. And they're saying thank you. We want to continue. We want to continue once people are settled. Once people are settled. Now the teaching we're about to get. Now the teaching you are about to get is about responsibility and what it means to be responsible. And what it means to be responsible to yourself in frequency. To yourself in frequency, the frequency that you are. The frequency that you are can be modulated by intention. Can be modulated by intention. We have explained the dial. We have explained the dial, but you have not practiced it. But you have not practiced it. We will say this with you. But we will say this with you. I am word through all that I see before me. I am word through all that I see before me. Calls the frequency of the word. Calls the frequency of the word to that which you see before you. To that which you see before you. That which you witness. That which you witness. That which is there. That which is there to be acclimated to. To be acclimated to. I am word through all that I know to be true. I am word through all that I know to be true. Steps. Other words, steps you up. Steps you up in truth. In truth, by this we mean. By this we mean that which is not in your truth. That which is not in your truth will fall away. Will fall away because it will not be resonant. Because it will not be resonant. I know what I know. I know what I know will take on significance. Will take on significance. Now we do not mean, I know that the cleaning guy comes on Monday. I know that the cleaning guy comes on one Monday. I know that my daughter is sick. I know that my daughter is sick. I know my father was a jerk. I know that my father was a jerk. That is subjective. That is subjective, but what you do know. But what you do know is who you are. Is who you are as an aspect of the Creator. As an aspect of the Creator. And once you operate. And once you operate in dominion, in your knowing, you create great change. You create great change because that which is born in fear. because that which has been born in fear will no longer resonate. Will no longer resonate as who you are, as who you are. Now when you decide, I am in change, I am in change, you may project what you believe change to be. You may project what you believe change to be. I will leave my boyfriend. I will leave my boyfriend. I will get rid of the dog. I will get rid of the dog. I will move to Hawaii. I will move to Hawaii. That all sounds very good. That all sounds very good, but in fact, the changes we are speaking of, the changes we are speaking of are you in resonance? In resonance, and the resonance that you are. And the resonance that you are is your consciousness. Is your consciousness, and the consciousness that you hold. And the consciousness that you hold creates the circumstances. Creates the circumstances and the lives with which you live through and by your choices. Your choices. So understand now when you know who you are. When you know who you are, you cannot blame anyone. You cannot blame anyone when you know what you are. When you know what you are, you can never be a victim. You can never be a victim, and when you know what you stand for. And when you know what you stand for, I know who I am as word. I know who I am as word. You have the ability to shift your frequency in any circumstance. In any circumstance you encounter the habitual behavior you know. The habitual behavior that you know that keeps you small is being countered by us. Is being countered by us in our teaching. But you love the behavior you know. Which is why you indulge it. So you must understand tonight that the fear that you have of change, within the self at least, is fear of being seen. Is fear of being seen for who you are, without those things you have used. Without those things you have used to protect yourself. My bad relationship, my bad leg, my bad diet, my bad behavior, you name it, you create it, so rename it and choose again. Do you understand what we say? Yes? So tonight we say to you, you are about to embark on a journey. You are about to embark on a journey in frequency. And after we pause, we will get to work with you. We will get to work with you in energy work. The decision was made by you already. The decision was made by you already when you claimed I am word through my body. When you claimed I am word through my body, you had an attunement. You had an attunement to the physical form that you stand in, to the physical form that you stand in. When you said I am word through my vibration. When you said I am word through my vibration, you claimed your vibration. You claimed your vibration to be in accordance with the word. When you said I know who I am. When you said I know who I am, I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. What you did was you said. I am word through my knowing of myself. I am word through my knowing of myself as word. And this is imperative. You can tell them this, Paul. They're saying you can tell them this, Paul. Paul is asking, why did we come through? Did we come through with this? I know bullshit. I know bullshit. Now we will say this because he's been teaching it for 3 weeks. He says, here they go again. And he says, here they go again. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. The reason we teach this now. The reason we teach this now is people didn't get it. They needed to know what it meant. They needed to know what it meant to be embodied. When you claim, I know I am. When you claim, I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. I know how I serve. You are frequency. You are frequency, and you are modifying yourself. And you are modifying yourself in a simple way. That you can work with. We are not a graduate school. We are teachers. We are teachers, and we learn what works. And we learn what works through the teaching and its appropriation. We had enough people saying to us. And we had enough people saying to us on the inner planes, I guess I'm word. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. Guess what, everybody? You have been word. You have been word. Now you know what it means. What it means is God is with you. God is with you. God is an aspect of you. God is an aspect of you that can be made manifest, that can be made manifest as you. As you. This does not put you above another. This does not put you above another. It does not make you separate from another. It does not make you separate from another. In fact, the opposite is true. In fact, the opposite is true, and we will tell you this again. And we will tell you this again because Paul is hoping we would. Because Paul is hoping we would. You cannot hold your brother in darkness. You cannot hold your brother in darkness and claim to be in the light. And claim to be in the light. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot hold yourself above another. You cannot hold yourself above another and be in high frequency. And be in high frequency. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. And those of you who believe that's okay. And those of you who believe that's okay are lying to yourselves. Are lying to yourselves if you believe that's your path. And if you believe that is your path, you are welcome to it. You are welcome to it because what you will get. Because what you will get is what you create. Is what you create. And that means you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow when you understand tonight. When you understand tonight that you cannot be separate from God, that you cannot be separate from God because it is everything. Because it is everything. And you cannot be separate from your brother. And you cannot be separate from your brother because your brother is you. Because your brother is you, then you begin to know the truth. Then you begin to know the truth when you know this truth. And when you know this truth, you live it. 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 Now ask Paul this. Now ask Paul this. Does he live it? Does he live it? Not yet. Not yet. We are getting very impatient. We are getting very impatient, but we will say this. But we will say this. He's getting it. He's getting it. He's learning it. He's learning it. He's acting as if enough of the time. And he's acting as if enough of the time that we can shift him. That we can shift him. The same will be true for you. The same will be true for you. We don't expect you to leave this room. We do not expect you to leave this room and walk on water. And walk on water. That's 3 weeks from now. That's 3 weeks from now if you're lucky. But tonight we do expect you. But tonight we do expect you to walk out of the room. To walk out of the room and witness the beauty. And witness the beauty that has been created. That has been created in each man and woman you pass. In each man and woman you pass. Because that is a perfect creation. Because that is a perfect creation of God made manifest. Made manifest. And if you decide that that is not true. And if you decide that that is not true, that is your business.